And that point is winning. Avery has never lost a regular season game at American Airlines Arena. He's 9-0. Tonight he looks to make it 10 as the Mavs host the Nuggets. Next. Well, the Mavericks call it home sweet home after playing 5 of their last 6 on the road. Avery Johnson Club begins a 4-game homestand tonight against the Nuggets. Denver's 0-3 on the road so far this season, losing those contests by an average of 16 points. Welcome to Game Night here on NBA TV alongside the Governor, Bill Raftery. I'm Bruce Beck. Hard to believe this is just the second home game of the year for Dallas. Dallas comes into the action with a 4-2 record, but they should be happy about coming home and trying to establish something.
You know who's worried?
Who's
the
worried?
Coaches.
Yes.
They're saying don't rely on the home court to win this game. You got a very live opponent that is playing good, solid basketball. We know Camby's up to snuff right now on the offensive end. And I think a lot of guys, we're home now, we'll chill. You know, we got a little bit of a comfort zone. You better come ready to play.
Well, for more of tonight's ball game, let's send it out to the two men who will call the action, Mark Followell and Bob Ortegal.
Thank you very much, Bruce. As we get ready for the Mavericks and Nuggets, the Mavericks are coming home, Bob, after an opening segment of the season that saw them play 5 of their first 6 games on the road. Now they're at home for the start of a 4-game homestand, and home is certainly a welcome sight. They played very well at home since Avery Johnson took over last March. It's something that he has emphasized, Bob, protecting the home court.
Played well. I mean, it's perfect. I don't know how you can get any better. Avery Johnson becomes head coach last year with 18 games to play. All they do is go 16-2 the rest of the way. 16-2 and a perfect 8-0 at home. That man has really been pretty special in what he's accomplished in a very short period of time. He had some very, very good wins last year, and certainly a good win at home again this year. In only one home game, the Mavericks upset the world champion San Antonio Spurs. So all in all, Mark, it's 20-4. I believe Avery Johnson is 20-4 since he became head coach, and he hasn't lost at home.
Well, they get the Denver Nuggets tonight to start this 4-game homestand. From the Maverick perspective, they've got an injury to deal with tonight. Keith Van Horn's not going to play due to a sprained right middle finger. On the injury front for the Denver Nuggets, Kenyon Martin, who had left knee tendinitis, didn't play Sunday night and went over Minnesota. Bob, he will play tonight against Dallas.
Well, certainly Martin makes a big, big difference for Denver. I mean, he's a heck of a player. He's a great athlete, and he's been very productive since he's been in the league. The Mavericks will really miss Van Horn. The primary reason is when Van Horn comes in the game sometimes with Nowitzki, Dirk plays the 3. That gives him a chance to move outside and get some perimeter shots over smaller defenders. Van Horn also will play some of the 5. So I think depth-wise, it becomes a big, big factor, you know, for Denver on the plus side with Van Horn out. The Mavericks will miss him.
So the Mavericks come in at 4-2 on the year. Meanwhile, Denver is 3-4, seeking their first road win. They're 0-3 so far this year away from the Pepsi Center. We'll have the lineups and the tip-off coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's go back to Bruce in the NBTV studios.
All right, thanks very much, guys. So it's Denver in Dallas tonight on NBA TV in high definition. We'll be back with much more in just a moment.
Small forward, Carmelo Anthony in his 3rd year from Syracuse. Kenyon Martin at the 4 and Marcus Camby at the 5, jumping against Eric Dampier to start the game. And there is a violation on the jump ball. And so Dallas will have the ball to start on offense to open up the game. Dallas this year 1-0 at home with a win over San Antonio. Mavericks coming off a victory on the road Saturday night against the New Orleans Oklahoma City Hornets, 109-103. Denver's last game Sunday at home against Minnesota. They knocked off the Timberwolves 102-91. Dirk will quickly try to feed the post to Dampier, and the active Marcus Camby knocked it out of bounds. However, there is an offensive foul called on Eric Dampier.
Really unbelievable. 2 calls right there. Neither player liked those calls.
Camby, last week's Western Conference Player of the Week. Averaged 19 points, nearly 17 rebounds, and 5 block shots a game. He's the league leader in rebounds and blocks per game. 14 rebounds, 3.7 blocks. 6 on the shot clock. Martin to DeMar Johnson against Doug Christie. Martin sets a screen. DeMar Johnson misses some long range. Camby taps it away from Nowitzki and saves it into Melo. And Anthony pulls the trigger on the jump shot and hits it to get Denver on the board.
That's what Camby does. Actually, Dirk had inside position, Mark, but that's how good a rebounder Camby is. He's tall, long arms, elevates well, elevates quickly.
Howard backs in on Anthony, has a bit of space, and he hooks it home. On the quick turnaround, Josh Howard scores Dallas's first basket. Howard coming into tonight shooting just 36.5% from the floor. Through 6 games, this is a player who over the last 13 regular season games last year and last 13 playoff games shot 51% from the floor. Andre Miller, good post-up player for a guard working against Jason Terry. He slices through a double team, and a Jason Terry foul will put Andre Miller on the line a minute 19 seconds into the game. And as Andre Miller steps to the foul line, Laura Green, our courtside reporter, joins us with tonight's inactive list. Laura?
All right, guys, and as you mentioned, no Keith Van Horn tonight. He sprained his middle finger on his shooting hand in the second quarter of the game against the Hornets. Now, it really swelled up a lot after the game, which is why he's not playing tonight. It's more of a problem when he catches the ball, not so much when he shoots it. Van Horn will be day-to-day. And good news for Jerry Stackhouse. There is a possibility that Stack may practice tomorrow. Guys?
Stackhouse has not played with a sore right knee since the preseason opener. Andre Miller gives Denver a 4-2 lead.
Miller's one of those guys, extremely smart player, excellent mid-range player. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes and doesn't shoot them very well, but as you mentioned, Mark, he will post up and post up effectively.
You talk about the threes. He's only attempted 3 this year and has not made one. 10 to shoot for Dirk against Miller. A spin move and a hanging jumper is missed off the front iron. And Kenyon Martin with a defensive rebound. A long outlet pass by Miller to Anthony, and Melo flicks it home.
That's what Miller will do. He sees the floor. His court vision is excellent, and he's a very good passer. The combination of the two result in assists.
Terry drives, wraparound pass, bounces off Kmart, who gets the steal. Martin forces the turnover. Andre Miller drives lane, and a foul on the floor is called by Bob Delaney. Joining Delaney tonight on the officiating crew, Ron Alesiak and Scott Wall.
This will be a very difficult test for the Mavericks tonight. This is a good club. Look at the outlet pass to Miller. Look at him look down the floor and finds the open man right here. And Carmelo Anthony finishes. He will release the ball, Miller will, and he's always aware of where people are.
In the open, we talked about Dallas's point guard depth, and it will be tested with Jason Terry accumulating 2 quick fouls and Devin Harris going into the game replacing him. 2 minutes, 10 seconds into the game. Miller against Harris. The pull-up over him is no good.
You saw Miller do one of the things that he does really, really well. I'll get back to it, Mark. Pick it up. Christie's
got it, driving the lane. Christie going inside, and he will take a trip to the foul line as he gets hit for Denver's first team foul, and it goes on his starting center, Marcus Camby.
Doug Christie, always a good play. Try and get to the basket. Dribble penetration. If you can get down into the middle, you'll create a lot of problems. Anyway, getting back to Miller, the one thing about him that he will do, and the best analogy I can make is Steve Nash. Miller doesn't kill his dribble. Miller will keep his dribble alive. If he gets in trouble, he'll back off, keep a live dribble, and then come right back and attack you. A lot of players will make a pass or kill their dribble, pick it up. That's what that means. But he'll keep a live dribble and still make things happen. He doesn't pick up his dribble very often.
The 2 hits at the line for Doug Christie make him 7 of 10 this year on free throws. Dallas within a deuce. Christie, the defender, against Anthony on the post-up. The skip pass to DeMar Johnson is caught with his heels on the sideline. Turnover, Denver. Denver's first turnover. Dallas has given it up 2 times so far in the first 2.5 minutes. Denver winless this year on the road at 0-3. They've dropped road games to the Spurs, Lakers, and Kings.
You heard Avery Johnson holler .3. What that means is that the 3-man, in this case Josh Howard, will trigger the offensive play from the point, which is exactly what happened.
Ball went out of bounds. Anthony tipped it. Dallas ball. 11 on the shot clock.
If he hollers .1 or .2, then that means that the point man initiating the play would be the 1-man or the 2-man. And that, the last possession, it was Josh Howard.
Rejection by DeMar Johnson on Devin Harris's slash up the left baseline. Anthony catches the outlet pass. He misses. Martin misses the follow jam.
I'll tell you what, though, Denver really hurting the Mavericks going over the top in transition.
Howard, too long on a jumper. Trying to chase it down, he does. Mavs have missed 3 of their first 4 shots. They'll try and get a chance in deep, and Bob Delaney blows his whistle. Eric Dampier is taken down, and it's the Denver foul on Andre Miller, the Nuggets' second team foul.
Mavericks looking for Dampier inside. They've attempted to force a couple passes inside. You don't want to do that. But if you can get it low, down low to him, that certainly is going to help you, especially with Camby right now with that 1 foul. So it's a pretty good strategy to try and make him defend.
Neither team shooting well in the first 3.5 minutes. Here's Dirk. This is going to be a high percentage shot. He will fly to the basket and lay it in.
You got that call right. That was pretty high. I thought he was going to dunk it.
I did too. Nowitzki doesn't slam it, but scores off the backboard to tie the game. And now here's a steal by Dallas and stolen back by Denver. Devin Harris nearly made the swipe. Anthony gets it back for the Nuggets, and he will go to the free throw line, taking it hard to the basket. He is fouled. Dallas's 3rd team foul of the first quarter.
Good hands by Denver. They're active hands. They're lively. They're ready to play, and that does not surprise me. That's George Karl coach teams are that way. George Karl is one of the best coaches in this league. Carmelo Anthony trying to get to the iron, does get there. You know what? If you can't score, what you want to do is be sure that you end up at the free throw line, and he did.
Second foul for Eric Dampier. As we saw in the replay, though, Bob, that was a hard foul. And before the game, we got to chat with Avery Johnson. One thing that he said is early on this season, he's been disappointed in the number of soft fouls committed by his team defensively. He would like to see more hard fouls, as we saw Eric Dampier commit there.
And the only thing I would add to that, Mark, is you're leaving out one word there: smart hard fouls. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be sure that when you make the hard foul, it's the hard foul you should be making. Like if a guy's got a dunk or an easy 2-pointer, that's a smart hard foul.
Is it still smart given the fact that it was his second foul 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, though?
The reason I think it is because you've got a backup center that can give you some support. Dampier might not agree with that, but I don't think you can give up that easy 2-pointer.
1 of 2 at the line for Anthony, and Dallas unable to secure the defensive rebound when the second free throw was missed. Bob noted that backup center for Dallas. It's Ghana Diop. He's checked in for Dampier. And here is a lob that Camby will flush home off Kenyon Martin's offensive rebound.
Martin appears to me to be playing just a little bit conservatively. He's not really exploding like he can, but if you look at his left knee, you can determine why. That thing's heavily wrapped.
He had a microfracture surgery on that left knee in the offseason. That's a tough surgery from which to recover. Christie to Dirk. Very short on the jumper. There's Diop chasing down the offensive rebound.
See, that's a hustle rebound. There was nothing to that other than hustle.
He worked the baseline, got the ball back for Dallas, and a foul is charged to Denver on DeMar Johnson, who got his first start of the season Sunday night against Minnesota. George Karl put him into the starting lineup, citing the need for speed and tempo, and took out Vashawn Leonard, the starter at the 2 guard in the first 6 games.
That's a pretty big 2 guard when you look at Johnson. My goodness, he gets good looks at the basket.
Harris in the lane, and a pass ricochets off Diop, and a Dallas turnover.
Diop was going where he should have been going. That was to the basket.
Andre Miller back to Camby from the top of the key. Dirk with a defensive rebound. A 3-point Denver lead. It's a 2 of 6. A travel as Devin Harris turns it over for the 4th time for Dallas. He caught the pass and walked before he put it on the floor.
Obviously, Devin's wondering about that. With that great quickness that he has, there are times when I think he does travel. There are also times when I think he does not travel.
Andre Miller, 4th in the league in assists at 8.3 a game for the first 2 weeks. He made the dish to Johnson. Martin has it. Strong move rejected by Dallas. Diop with the block and the loose ball. And they will credit that block actually to Dirk.
Yeah, it was Dirk. It was Nowitzki, I think, Mark.
And Diop's going to tip it home if the basket stands. And it will not. Harris missed the shot. And then a foul is called on Ghana Diop, a loose ball foul. And it's the 4th in the first quarter for Dallas.
Dirk Nowitzki down inside on a spin move by Martin. Gets a really good block with his left hand. That's a heck of a defensive play on an off-the-ball shot blocker.
Well, Dirk nearly broke the top 20 in the NBA last year in block shots. He was just outside it at 1.5 a game. And he's had 6 blocks through the first 6 games. Marquise Daniels has come on. And Dallas going with a big backcourt here as Daniels has checked in. He replaces Christie. Here's Carmelo Anthony. Turnaround, fall away. Good with the foul.
He can do that. He is very good at that.
Good start to the game for Anthony. He's made 3 out of 4. 7 points. He's at the line looking for a 3 the hard way with 6:34 left in the first quarter.
He turns and fades. You know, that doesn't look like a lot of foul, but let me tell you, folks, that's a real clever way sometimes to mess up a shooter. You don't want to hit the elbow hard. All you've got to do is touch it lightly, and you can really impact the shot. Avery Johnson's going to talk about it right now. Denver off to a pretty good start.
Josh Howard committed the foul, and Denver is doubling up Dallas. The Nuggets have scored the last 6 points of the game, and Denver has come out looking for their first road win and setting the tone well early here in Dallas. This in Southwest. 8 for Carmelo Anthony to lead the Denver attack. Dallas has 2 points each from Christie, Howard, and Dirk. And Dirk catches the inbound pass as we come out of the timeout. Let's see how the Mavericks adjust out of the timeout. Howard against Anthony. Spin move back to the baseline.
I'll tell you who's got the adjustment. I think Denver was in his own.
Daniels missed. Rebound Denver, Marcus Camby.
We'll see if they are on the next possession. They probably will not be. That's kind of like George Karl to do things like that. But on that particular sequence, I think they went zone.
Carmelo Anthony in the lane, rejected off the glass by Ganajop.
Tell you what, you got to like him. I mean, that young guy is really coming along.
Averaging 2 blocks a game. Howard missed. Jop can't tip it home. It's still loose, and Dallas has it back.
Yeah, because of Jop, he kept it alive.
Straightaway 3. Nowitzki off the rim. The soft bounce. It drops in.
Why do the good shooters get those kind of rolls? You never get those kind of rolls.
Well, I'm not a good shooter. The ball becomes rectangular in my hands.
Oh, no, it's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. You've seen it.
Well, that's because you spent all your youth playing with that Rubik's Cube.
Kenyon Martin against Jop. Hard in the lane and off the glass and good.
Yeah, he didn't look like that, and he was bothering him there, but he's a heck of a player. I like the way he works. He just works hard.
It's something that need to which I'm referring to. George Karl said they'll probably have to manage at least for a month into the season, maybe 2. Spinning in the lane, Nowitzki over Kmart. Nearly banked it home. There's Job going back up, and it's knocked free by Carmelo Anthony.
Tell you what, there are a lot of good defensive plays being made with quick hands. Look at that.
Martin missed. DeMar Johnson missed, going back up on the second try.
The whole bunch of athletes out there, I'll tell you that.
And Jop credited for a block. Nowitzki off the rim, and Miller has it for the Nuggets.
It's not out of bounds if it rolls across the top of the backboard.
Lob pass knocked away. Dallas has it. Josh Howard. There's some good athletic plays so far, but some sloppy plays as well, as Howard will miss badly on the driving right-hand layup try, and the Mavericks are now 3 of 15 to start the game.
That's a bad decision. That's not a good decision.
Nuggets aren't much better, and there's a wild miss inside.
The track meet right now. Oh, that's a charge.
Yes, it is on Marquise Daniels. 4:14 left in the first quarter, and Dallas with a turnover. That is their 5th of the first quarter, and Daniels' second foul.
It's amazing how many plays are being made. Look at the hands defensive. That's Carmelo Anthony. Excellent job with the hands. And then Howard getting the job done. Josh Howard. It's just really, I tell you, there's a lot of quick hands. Look at Darrell Armstrong into the ball game right now against Boykins. That may have been by design. When Boykins comes into the game, Avery Johnson may have planned to counter.
Anthony squeezed around Daniels and scores on the scoop layup. Also checking in addition to Boykins for Denver is one of the all-time fan favorites here in Dallas, Eduardo Najera.
There is no question about that. And we had a nice visit with him before the ball game, and he's a quality guy. He loves Dallas.
Boykins tipped it to Devin Harris. Dallas still with it. Darrell Armstrong for 3. And Armstrong gets it back off the miss thanks to Job, but then the Mavericks turn it over. Camby to Boykins to DeMar Johnson. And then a travel that was forced by Darrell Armstrong against Melo.
Good call. It absolutely was forced. Just the fact that he assumed that position and he was there. Carmelo saw him and then changed his mind on the drive because he was afraid he might draw the charge, and he traveled.
You noted our conversation before the game with Eduardo Nájera. Wife Jennifer doing very well. 2 kids. Eduardo Jr., 8 months old. Here's a big dunk for Devin Harris. And Isabella is 3 years old. Nájera's firstborn.
Eduardo Jr. I'll bet that kid, I bet he sleeps about 2 hours a night.
Anthony to Johnson. They swing it around. Here's Boykins. Dallas with that make on the Harris dunk. 4 of 17. Jop with the rebound off the missed shot. And a long outlet pass going to Darrell Armstrong, and he will lay it in.
Jop. Heck of a job by Jop. Making that outlet pass. The assist pass. Look at Armstrong. He's staying after it. He gets the crowd into the game. He gets his teammates into the game as soon as he steps foot on the floor.
Ghana Jop's impact of the game. 5 rebounds and a couple of block shots. A timeout on the floor. And look at Devin Harris take it to the rack and hammer it home. Everyone in Dallas likes it, including the owner, as Dallas draws to within 3. Denver holds the 16-13 advantage over the Mavericks. 2:39 left in the first quarter. Tonight on the Dodge Grab Life by the Horns feature, Eric Dampier tells us about his favorite movie. And yours is? Do you have a favorite movie? Have you seen one lately? Bob, are you in there?
I'm laying out. Of course I have. I mean, you know, that's what I'm excited about. That's all because of defense. You got quick hands going all over the place. You got competitors. You got guys not letting guys have good looks and good shots.
Boykins with it for Denver. I'm not sure how much of that is good defense or bad offense early on. No. Nájera along 2. It's short. Jop challenged it. Armstrong the rebound.
I think defense has a lot to do with it. Now, it's early in the game. The problem is, can both teams sustain the effort as it goes on, or do you drift away? Oh, there's a good pass inside.
Dirk in the lane. He will hook it home. Camby tried to draw a call, did not get it, and Dirk draws Dallas to within 1.
How about the move inside? How about the post-up move inside? The hook shot.
He got prime real estate in the middle. Anthony against Daniels. Zips it to a cutter along the baseline, Johnson. Then there's Nájera working the baseline, and the reverse layup is good.
That's something he does very well. Up and unders from the left side to the right side, or the right side to the left side. He's always done that well. He uses the net and the rim kind of to protect himself.
And you need to protect yourself when you've got Jop patrolling the middle. Already blocked 2 tonight.
See, there's the hands again.
Camby trying to get the takeaway, and he's finally able to roll it away to Melo. And then Dallas gets the intercept. This is a numbers situation. Armstrong has it knocked away by Camby, out of bounds. Denver ball.
Camby's hands are unreal now, I'm telling you. He's deflecting everything inside. He's coming out right now, and that's good news for Dallas. Camby's going to get a rest. Watch his hands. He deflects it right there. He knows where his teammate is, gets it, and still gets it out. He got it out of there, folks.
Camby goes out. Francisco Elson has come on along with Greg Buckner. And the first NBA action for Josh Powell. Powell, a rookie from North Carolina State for Dallas. He has not played in the first 6 games. Came out of school in 2003. Last 2 years spent playing in Italy as Jop rebounds the Boykins miss.
And that's because Keith Van Horn is out. Josh Powell gets that chance.
There's Devin Harris right to the cup. A scoop to the hoop with the right hand, and Dallas back within 1. It stays at 1, but Boykins follows up his own miss to get it back for Denver. Lobbing it over the rim, he finds DeMar Johnson. Shot is no good, and Francisco Elson plows right into Ghana Jop for a foul.
Well, he went down. Jop went down hard. You know, as well as Harris goes to the cup, he should have been a golfer.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, look, he gets the ball in the hole. I mean, he gets to the cup.
I haven't seen a swing, though, Bob.
Well, I haven't either.
I've heard it leaves a little bit to be desired. Much like yours.
You've not seen me play golf. I don't play golf.
Really?
Never have. Never have. Really.
33 seconds left in the first half. Our first quarter, that is. There's Josh Powell trying to get on the board, and he leaves it short. A rebound for DeMar Johnson. Elson to Boykins. Differential shot clock, game clock about around 4 seconds.
Armstrong checks the shot clock at the other end of the floor.
High screen and roll. Boykins and Elson. Boykins missed. There's Elson with the follow jam. 7 seconds left in the first quarter. A three would tie it. Harris, a behind the back dribble. He lost it. Nahara up ahead to Boykins, and it will go out of bounds at the end of the quarter. A masterpiece it wasn't in the first 12 minutes of the game. The Mavericks shoot 32%. Denver does as well. Dallas had 8 first quarter turnovers. Denver had 4. And 3-1, Denver with a 20-17 lead over the Mavericks on the home of the Mavericks, FSN Southwest and NBA TV. 17, Denver looking for their first road win of the season. They might get it if Marcus Camby plays the way he has over the past week. You see our Geico quote of the day. Camby, last week's Western Conference Player of the Week, talking about things before the Minnesota game when he had 18 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 block shots, Bob.
What a line that is.
Obviously spurred on by the challenge that George Karl, he felt like, made to them before the game.
George Karl will do that.
6 to shoot Boykins against Devin Harris. Moving to his left, hanging, late pass, tipped away from Elson. Now he has to get it off in desperation with a shot clock on his back, and Jop came out and blocked it. And that's rejection number 3 in the game for Ghana Jop.
If they give him a block on that, will they give him the block, do you think? Did they do that?
I believe I saw it on the stat monitor.
Okay, good. I'm glad they did, because sometimes when that shot clock goes off, the player doesn't get credit for something he's just done.
League leader in blocks per minute. Devin Harris going baseline, hanging, dishing. Daniels around and in for Marquise Daniels, his first bucket.
Devin Harris, good point guard play, dribble penetration, found the open man.
Harris dropping his second dime of the game. Elson to Nahara from the baseline. And Nahara with a soft roll.
That's a spot where you don't want to give Nahara shots. He's a good baseline jump shooter, 15 to 18 feet. He won't move out dead in that corner, but he will shoot that mid-range shot pretty well.
Averaging nearly 7 points and 5 rebounds a game this year. Terry and Jop on the pick and roll. 7 to shoot. Terry's got it again. Drives on Deshaun Leonard to Jop on the left baseline, and he is money on that 16-footer.
He likes that. He's very comfortable. Look at this, over the top again.
And it's out of bounds off Denver. I think Buckner threw that up off the back of the backboard.
Well, Buck thought he got fouled. George Karl did too. George Karl got both hands on his hips.
Nowitzki stretching his back.
That's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing right there.
Remember, went out late in the first half last Wednesday night in Philadelphia, but then came back to play 2 splendid games in the weekend victories at Charlotte and Oklahoma City. Josh Powell working against Nahara. Dallas trailing by 1. An offensive foul. Eric Dampier, his 3rd foul of the game.
And they were trying to get Jason Terry open. I thought Josh Powell did a nice job. He was patient. He was waiting for the cutter. He knew Terry was coming up. I think Avery Johnson's really disappointed in Dampier's play so far in this game. And, you know, he has a right to be. He's been very, very patient.
Deshaun Leonard. He's on the board.
You don't want to let him do that. He can do that with range.
Hasn't shot well on threes this year, but certainly he's capable of it.
Yes, his history tells you that he can.
Just 29% this year beyond the arc. The Nuggets are the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA at 22.5%.
Good recovery by Denver defensively. There's a good look for Jason Terry.
Missed it, but Dallas has the rebound. Josh Powell. Mavericks are outboarding Denver 18-14. You saw the number on Denver and their rebounding margin, 2nd best in the league. But not tonight. Powell short. He gives chase again, but Boykins has it for Denver. Denver leading by 3. Leonard to make it a 5-point game. Josh Powell the rebound. Lost it and has it back.
Good move by Denver.
Wow. Getting right in the middle of the lane and trying to draw a charge is Elson. The foul, though, is on Eduardo Nahara, not on Elson. And Eddie Nahara picks up Denver's 1st team foul of the 2nd quarter.
Look at this move by Marquise Daniels. He starts out to the right, comes back behind his back, and gets right down into that. Creates a lot of problems for the defense when you get that kind of penetration. But that you noticed a very good job of converging on the ball, help side defense by Denver. See, I think they're zone right now.
Nahara with his second foul.
And that's what Carl will do. He'll mix them up. That was on an out-of-bounds play, so he had time to change it. I believe they gave him a little bit of a different look. 1, 2, 3 on the zone. Now it looks like they'll go back man-to-man because Boykins is on Harris. Let's see if Boykins follows Harris up. He does. That's a man-to-man.
Harris, Terry, Daniels, Josh Powell, and Eric Dampier. The 5 on the floor for the Mavs. Terry slashing the baseline. A bounce pass to Marquise Daniels. Josh Powell trying to tip it home, and he's called for a loose ball foul anyway, holding off Nahara with his arm.
Yep, he did. He used his left hand. He tried to get away with it. He didn't make it real obvious, but he did get caught. But a good move by Josh Powell.
First team foul of the Mavericks in the second quarter. There's an official timeout with Dallas trailing by 3.
Cuban, introduce Mavs U. It's Mavs University, and it's a great opportunity for people with a valid college ID to get $10 tickets to a Mavericks game. Upper level tickets if you come on a weeknight game 2 hours prior to tip when the box office opens. You can get $10 upper level tickets if you show your valid college ID. Mark Cuban kicked it off today at SMU and out at TCU. And guys, the t-shirt I showed you, if you're one of the first 100, you get the cool shirt.
Thanks, Laura. But my question is, where's North Texas? Where's UTA? Where's the love for them? Deshaun Leonard down the lane. And Doug Christie gets the rebound as the miss was forced by Dampier. Jason Terry with it.
High pick and roll. Powell on the pick. Buckner was holding Powell. Good to see Greg Buckner back in Dallas, too. Another guy that I thought gave his all when he was here. And earned the right to stay in the league.
Went to Philly from Dallas for 2 years. This is his second year in Denver. He spent the first 3 seasons of his career with the Mavericks playing in 129 games, averaging 6 points and 4 rebounds a game.
Very good, my friend.
Into Jason Terry. You saw Josh Powell back on the bench. Dirks returned. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Doug Christie will go to the free throw line. Bob, these are 2 of the top scoring and shooting teams in the league. They are both in the top half of the NBA in field goal percentage and scoring, both Dallas and Denver. And here we sit. We're almost 16 minutes into the game. Denver 32% shooting, Dallas 33% shooting, and they're both in the low to mid 20s on the scoreboard.
Well, defense is having something to do with it. Certainly the quick hands is having something to do with it, and turnovers. It all adds up. Now the Mavericks are battling on the boards and doing a pretty good job against the second best rebounding team in the NBA in Denver, but the game has to settle down a little bit offensively. And you have to begin to make, against a team that's as aggressive defensively as Denver is, you've got to make the extra pass or 2. Now that's going to be on Josh Howard.
Christie split the free throws off the Francisco Elson foul. And with 8:11 left in the second quarter, Carmelo Anthony returns to the game. Josh Howard picking up foul number 2, team foul number 2 on Dallas. So Buckner back out. Anthony has returned and triggers into Earl Boykins from Eastern Michigan.
Oh, he's so quick.
Nice move around Terry. Flings it out to Melo. Nahara keeps it alive. Boy, how many times do we see that?
It's a hustle rebound. He did after it. Just persistent in his attempt to get the ball.
And it results in a second chance score for Denver. Earl Boykins hitting the baseline jumper. That's 8 second chance points for Denver. They lead the Mavericks by 4. Dirk will post up against his former teammate. Leonard helps set a double. Christie from Jason Terry. Spin move back to the baseline. He missed, didn't touch rim, and Dampier picks it up, but the shot clock ran out. So that will bring Dallas.
I think there might be some question about whether or not it hit the rim.
Well, they're going to talk about it. If it stands as a turnover, it would be the 10th of the first half for the Mavericks.
Kind of hard to see from that angle, but might have hit the rim going down.
Ron Elysiak is talking here at the scorers table. And it's going to be Maverick basketball. He said that did touch the rim.
He's a heck of an official. He does a good job. Let's see it again.
It's really hard to tell.
If it did, it was just a light kiss. It wasn't one of those real good kisses.
Yeah, it was 1 molecule of rim and 1 molecule of basketball touching, and that was it. It was the lightest of touches.
I'm talking about kisses. You're talking about molecules.
I'm talking about what? What was that again? Molecules, Bob.
That's what I said.
Dirk will shoot free throws here. Well, we see where our minds are at tonight. 7:19 left in the second quarter, and Dirk will shoot free throws. Great game against the New Orleans Oklahoma City Hornets on Saturday night. Dirk lifted his scoring average over a full point in that game. He's now 8th in the NBA at 24.2 points a game, in addition to 8.5 rebounds tonight.
You have to wonder what would have happened at Philadelphia in the second half if Dirk had been able to play all the way. I felt like his teammates just really kind of dropped off mentally and emotionally in his absence, and you can't have that happen. You've got a key player or your best player that's not there. You've got to play through that.
Andre Miller's back in the game for Earl Boykins. Miller with 2 points in the first quarter. Dirk 2 of 2 at the line. Dallas back to within 2. Sean Leonard got the jumper away. Yikes. He almost banked it in. Christie with the rebound and the run out, and the pass goes off the backside of Josh Howard. There's Terry with the recovery. He rescues the possession for Dallas. Dirk doubled.
There you go. There's your extra pass.
To Josh Howard from Christie. 3 seconds in the lane on Dallas on Eric Dampier.
Well, what a mistake to have that happen at that point. You see, the Mavericks had a couple of extra passes in there that time, and they ended up with a wide open shot. That's what I'm referring to. You've got to continue to move the ball. Don't make it easy for the defense.
Those turnover numbers, especially from the Mavericks' perspective, downright ugly. Left side, Andre Miller. Against Doug Christie, finally got away from him. There was a foul called by Ron Lesiak. After Miller missed the shot, Eric Dampier is called for foul number 4. That will mean Ghana Diop comes back in.
Dampier on the inside. He had reasonably good position. Then he tried to open up, and he got called for body contact on the foul.
Well, Dampier played well last year against Denver in 3 games, averaging over 10 points and nearly 10 rebounds a game. But foul trouble tonight. 4 fouls, 8 minutes of play. Free throws for Denver after a timeout with 6.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. For dealers. Denver has a chance to increase on that 2-point lead here at American Airlines Center, where the Mavericks are playing their next 4 games. Atlanta Thursday, Detroit Saturday, Houston next Tuesday night. But Avery Johnson mentioned yesterday after practice that his focus was Denver. He wasn't worried about a 4-game homestand, and the Mavericks' focus needs to be Denver, because certainly neither team playing terribly well, but a winless team on the road has so far in some regards taken it to the Mavericks here early on, Bob.
I think that's true, Mark, and I tell you what, you cannot look at a homestand the way in which maybe members of the media look at it and say it's one of the longest homestands of the year. It's 4 games. It's not. It's a 1-game homestand. It's Denver. That's all that counts. And I know you're smiling, and I know you're saying, there you go again, coach.
Right.
Trying to use that coach language stuff, but that's the way it is. It's all about Denver.
And it's all about a 4-point lead right now for the Nuggets, which the Mavericks try to eat into that as Terry and Diop run a screen and roll. 5 to shoot. Terry to Diop. He's going to have to get it away. No, he'll go back to Jason Terry, and he beats the shot clock with a 3-pointer. Wow.
He can do that. And you know what? Diop had a little bit of a fake to his left when he received that ball, and that freezes the defense a little bit, and then he quickly went back to Jason Terry.
In the lane, Miller. That was Dallas's second 3, as you saw. Nahara to Carmelo Anthony. Licks it hard off the glass and missed. Nahara rejected on the second try by Dirk.
A couple of guys that were good friends, probably still are good friends, Nowitzki and Nahara.
7 blocks tonight for Dallas. Mavericks haven't led in the game. Will they now? No. Nahara with the rebound. The 3 missed by Jason Terry. The foul committed by Josh Howard. And that's his third. And we have an update from our courtside reporter, Laura Green. Laura?
All right, and in that timeout, guys, Avery Johnson emphasizing giving up offensive boards. He says, we've given up 7 to them. We can't do that. We must box out. Also telling his guys to make sure they get back in transition. Guys?
Marquise Daniels returns for Dallas with Josh Howard picking up 3 fouls. Camby back in for Eduardo Nahara. Before the game, Avery Johnson saying that with Shaq hurt right now, Marcus Camby is playing better than any center in the NBA. Miller will lob it to Camby, and as we speak of him, he will throw it down on the alley-oop.
What a timely comment you had about Camby, and then he follows it with an alley-oop dunk. That's pretty good stuff.
It's nice when it works out that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because it doesn't always work that way.
4 and 4 points and boards tonight for Camby. Terry has Elson switched on him. He will take him to the basket and scoop it home.
Now, we talked about a point guard. Somebody's always picking this team up, it seems, from the point guard position. Oh, there's a good back cut. He got caught on a push-off. That's a sneak move. Let's take a look at Camby again. Miller will do this. We talked about that at the top of the show. Miller will throw the ball over the top of the defense.
Camby hurt his hand a little bit, it looks like, on the dunk.
Well, he hit the rim pretty hard. Maybe he did.
Well, Vashawn Leonard committed an offensive foul, so it is Dallas ball. Boykins has returned to the game, and Leonard has gone to the bench with his second foul. You saw the numbers there for Camby. Trying to join the likes of Ben Wallace, Kareem, Akeem Olajuwon, and Bill Walton, the only players in a regular season to lead the league in blocks and rebounds. Dirk short on a jumper. Andre Miller the rebound and the cover-up to let the traffic clear. 1 point Denver lead. Spinning through, and Miller has it swiped away by Dallas. Doug Christie with a loose ball. Christie to Dirk. Driving on Anthony. A jump stop. A 10-footer. It is good. Swishing it home. That's the first lead of the game for the Mavericks. It comes with 4 minutes left in the first half.
Very good job by Nowitzki.
11 points.
And Christie, a heck of a play to make all of that happen.
Denver's 8th turnover. Anthony backs in on Daniels. And on the pass, a foul is coming here. It's on Marquise Daniels. 5th team foul of the second quarter. It's Daniels' second foul in the game.
Doug Christie with the basketball, a little penetration. He turned the defender around, gets it back to Nowitzki. You see the jump stop. We've been talking about that in recent games where a player jumps into the air and comes down with both feet hitting the ground at the same time. It's a good move. Dirk didn't have to declare a pivot foot because he went up off of the floor from the jump stop, made the jumper.
Carmelo Anthony with free throws. Anthony coming off a 23-point performance against the Timberwolves Sunday night, averaging 18 points a game this year. Shooting 43% from the floor, 75.5% on foul shots. Tonight he's 4 of 5 at the stripe. He's the game's leading scorer with a dozen, and Denver has the lead off his foul shots. Boykins chasing Terry. Now Boykins against Dirk. To Terry for 3. Weak side. There's Dallas with a rebound as Daniels tears it away. And he makes a pivot under the basket and lays it in.
Great court awareness. He knew where he was, where the basket was. Good rebound and an excellent move.
Able to shake free from Francisco Elson.
You liked that, didn't you?
I did. Pretty. Slicing through. There's Carmelo Anthony. Slipped through a couple of defenders and lays it in.
That was against Christie, too.
Returned the favor after Christie swiped him about a minute ago.
A pretty good defender.
Christie initiating the offense. To Terry with 12 to shoot. Chop screens. Terry to Dirk. 1-3. Bingo! Dirk Nowitzki with the Mavericks' third three-pointer of the first half.
Kenyon Martin will not return tonight. Must have something to do with that knee, Mark.
Got to start, but unable to complete the first quarter. Martin, 8 minutes tonight, 2 points, 3 rebounds. So that depletes the front line for Denver, with Keith Van Horn out of the picture tonight for the Mavericks with a right middle finger sprain. Jason Terry got the rebound. Daniels from Dirk, right back to Dirk on a give and go. Layup is missed, and he takes a tumble to the floor. The Nuggets come the other way. Camby down the lane, and Daniels will prevent the easy basket. He will commit a foul, which is his third of the first half. He sends Marcus Camby to the line. There's a timeout charged to the Mavericks. Marquise Daniels did pick up the third foul, but also has made nifty moves like that one to lay it in over Francisco Elson. And Dirk Nowitzki with one of 3 Dallas three-pointers in the first half and put him up by 2. Denver coming in for the opener of a 4-game homestand. Tonight on the Busch Light Southwest Sports Report, you'll get complete Mavs postgame coverage. Plus, Dana and John talk baseball with the National League MVP being named today, and college football, where a Big 12 coach decides to step aside. Join Dana and John on the Southwest Sports Report immediately after the game. Some Maverick fans trying to get into it. We saw some Denver fans coming out of the timeout. We presume supporters of Dallas's Kenyon Martin, went to high school at Bryan Adams, then to the University of Cincinnati, and they got shortchanged tonight. Martin started the game, but apparently that tendonitis and soreness in his left knee, Bob, has been aggravated, that is, to the point where he's not coming back into the game.
That's certainly unfortunate for Kenyon Martin, and certainly unfortunate for Denver. I hate to see that to happen to any player, but that's part of this league. That's part of what happens in the NBA.
There's Ghana Job's 8th rebound. 14 minutes of action. He has the 8 boards. We got some Mavericks in foul trouble in this game. Dampier, Howard, and Daniels. 4 on Dampier, 3 each for Howard and Daniels. Marquise passes to Christie.
I thought Marquise passed up a pretty good look.
Christie in the lane on Camby. No rim touched, but the shot clock reset. At least I didn't think it touched the rim. Maybe it did.
Must have. But that's Jop with the rebound back. Maybe there is some question now.
Well, that's why Ron Elysiak just stopped play. He's talking about it right now with Scott Wall with 1:37 remaining in the first half.
That shot did not hit the rim.
Ron Elysiak saying to our left, clearly that shot did not hit the rim. Did it off the backboard, Bob?
I don't think so. It hit the backboard, but I don't think it did hit the rim.
Well, this is the second close call. The one that we had earlier in the first half was one that was, by all replays, difficult to tell. That one was tough to tell, but at live action, Bob, I didn't think that it hit the rim.
No, I didn't think that it did either. And when you look at that replay, you wonder if it raised it up there a little bit. Anthony and Dirk having a good time out there, kind of horsing around a little bit. Johnson calls his team over. He'll put a stop to that stuff.
Mavericks, by the way, are 7 of 16 shooting this quarter. They've upped their percentage to nearly 37 for the game, while Denver still shoots at 33%. Well, Bob Delaney's talking to Avery Johnson. I don't think Avery likes the explanation.
Not at all.
It's going to be Denver ball on a shot clock violation. Avery arguing his case. We clearly heard him say, but the ball hit.
It's not a play you can review, folks, in case you're wondering that at home. It doesn't fall into the category of a reviewable play.
Only made baskets at the end of quarters reviewable. Denver ball off Dallas's 11th turnover in the game.
That's what Avery Johnson will be talking about at halftime.
Lob pass.
Taking care of the ball.
Chop got it.
Is that double figures for him on the boards?
It got him at 10 rebounds. His season high coming into tonight was 8. His career high in boards is 11. Oh. Terry has it stripped away by Boykins.
You talk about quick hands by Boykins. Did you see that strip? Jason Terry. Yeah, here, folks, look at this. Jason Terry's going up. Boykins got his hand in there. He's going up. Jason thought he had a layup.
With the right hands, he knocked it away, but Jason Terry comes back and off the inbounds pass is able to hit the mid-range jumper. Nahara from Andre Miller. Camby over Dirk. Nothing but net for Marcus Camby, drawing Denver to within a single point.
That's a facet of his game that has improved tremendously over the years. He's improved his jump shot, and in addition, his range.
Overall shooting 57% from the floor this year. Tonight he's 3 of 5, 7 points. Chop a turnaround, and it won't go.
Not a bad shot, though. That's not a bad shot. That's a pretty good move inside.
Miller gets a pick, moves right from the foul line. He puts Denver in front. They also get a 2-for-1 by getting that shot away and scoring it with just over 28 seconds left in the half.
He's good at that. That is his game. Keeps his dribble alive, works off picks, good mid-range jump shooter, knows how to get open.
No fouls to give here for Denver. Dirk on the perimeter against Eduardo Najera. 6 to shoot. Dirk sizes up Najera. Lefty dribble across the lane. He'll go to the foul line with 5.4 remaining in the first half.
Camby had moved over to try and help out against Dirk. In the middle of that defensive sequence, it was almost like Denver had gone to a zone. They brought Camby over on the other side of the floor. He was going to be a second defender against Dirk. Dirk very wisely worked away from that defender down into the middle where there was some room. He could have worked to his right. He elected not to do that because of Camby's presence, so he went the other way.
Game tied with Dirk's first foul shot.
See, he comes right down into the middle, and then he knows the shot blocker, Camby, is there, so he goes with that left-handed hook shot.
Dirk leading the way tonight. Only Maverick in double digits. Last year, Dallas went 2-1 in a 3-game series against Denver. They won 102-88 on the road and 95-93 in mid-January here in Dallas. And in those Maverick wins against Denver, Dirk had 35 and 36 points. He puts Dallas on top. Will they carry the lead into the half? Not if Carmelo Anthony can do anything about it, which he can. And that is a three-pointer for Anthony from the right wing at the buzzer. It will be checked, but clearly it appeared that Anthony got the shot away in time. And so Denver, with their first made 3 of the opening 24 minutes, will carry a 2-point lead into the half. Denver 42, Dallas 40, halftime at American Airlines Center on FSN Southwest and NBA TV.
Good look at what they do. You saw them both, Buckner and Najera. They just made hustle plays all over the place. And after going to the playoffs after the big long drought, I mean, people remember that. They remember guys that make that kind of an effort. There's Mark Cuban. Let me tell you what, he was a happy camper. To get a split screen shot of Najera on the right, Buckner on the left, and those guys are still, that's the reason that they're still in the league today, because of their work ethic and because of the effort that they give night in and night out. That has been very good to them. They probably are going to have enough money that they don't have to work real hard the rest of their life.
And Bob, you mentioned the term glue guys. That was something sort of coined by Don Nelson when he was the head coach here.
Yes, it was, and he knows what that means because he knows now he's got 5 championship rings. He played on some very good Boston Celtic teams that had glue guys. In fact, he may have been one of them.
Those guys who just sort of held it all together.
That is so true. So, do we have a glue guy? I mean,
Tom Stoner. On our production crew, our producer Tom Stoner, he's the glue guy. He holds it all together.
No, he's the boss. He's not the glue. Can't call the boss the glue guy. The glue guy.
Well, this whole thing might come crumbling apart if it wasn't for him, though. So maybe I do. Third quarter's about to start as we check in with courtside reporter Laura Green.
All right, guys. Assistant coach Larry Riley said at halftime they're not very pleased with how they're blocking out on the defensive end. Offensively, he says they just haven't executed very well. They need to set better screens, have better spacing. Quite frankly, they're not used to having 40 points at this stage, guys.
Doug Christie a foul as DeMar Johnson tried to make a move to the hoop. And Johnson will shoot free throws to start out the third quarter for Denver. The lineups, Dallas' starting 5, Terry, Christie, Howard, Dirk, and Eric Dampier. Howard has 3 fouls. Dampier has 4. Denver going with Andre Miller, DeMar Johnson, Carmelo Anthony, Marcus Camby at the 5, Francisco Elson at the 4 because Kenyon Martin started the game, but the left knee that kept him out Sunday night against Minnesota just wasn't strong enough to keep him on the floor for the whole game. So after a quarter, they announced he would not be back.
And I think George Karl's doing the right thing, Mark. I think you have to protect the guy. He's too valuable. He's too good a player, and he's too young. So you don't want to take a chance on him doing some serious damage to that knee. You just have to wait on it. That's all.
A reminder for those of you who went away during halftime, Dallas picked up a point at the half. They reviewed Carmelo Anthony's bucket to end the first half. It was away in plenty of time, but on the review, they checked to see, which you can do, if it should have been a 2-point basket or a 3-point basket, and it was credited as a 2. And Terry missed a 3.
Yeah, Dampier had a great shot at that rebound. Good position. He was right there. You can't make mistakes like that against a good basketball team. And Denver's a talented team and a well-coached team, and they're not going to do anything but get better between now and the end of this season.
What they did last year when George Karl took over in mid-January, they were 8 games below 500. They went 32-8 under Karl, and Elson gets a steal. He will drive and dunk it, and it's been all Denver in the first minute and change of the third quarter, and it will put Avery Johnson into timeout mode.
Well, Dirk got out-hustled on that play. I think he took for granted that he was going to recover that ball. I don't like to say that, but I feel like that was the case. Dirk got a little slow going after it, and you see Elson makes a little extra effort, and he comes away with a basketball, very unlike Dirk Nowitzki, but that one goes to Denver.
There are 1,000 reasons to love this game. What's yours?
The crowd is on their feet.
I love this game because you know what? Little guys can make a big difference.
You can stand here with the ball doing stupid things like I'm doing now and look cool.
Because it gives me a chance to be me.
I love this game because you get to wear a tank top.
We love this game because we can always go together.
A good date.
How nice was that?
That close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Showtime, baby. Showtime. Stay there. Get back, Steve. I got ball. Double dribble.
6 straight scored by the Nuggets to open up the third quarter. They have scored the game's last 8 points, going back to that Anthony buzzer beater at the end of the second. Dirk to Jason Terry. Camby switched on to Terry. They tried to feed Dampier with a foul called against Carmelo Anthony. Guarding Dampier down low. That's Anthony's first foul. It's Denver's first team foul. 14 to shoot, 10:32 left in the third.
Well, that second defender was quick to come over and help out against Dampier. Elson really crowds Nowitzki.
Howard has some space against Andre Miller. 4 to shoot. 3 seconds in the lane on Eric Dampier. Second time he's been called for that tonight.
Boy, Damp's had a long night and a rough night. He's been in foul trouble. He hasn't played a lot of minutes. He's had a couple of 3-second violations. Has not been a good Tuesday.
Since the Mavericks had 22 turnovers in the opener against Phoenix, they have only averaged 13.5 turnovers over the last 5 games. They already have 13 tonight. Denver, as you saw, only 8. Lamar Johnson babies at home in the lane. That soft jumper from the bottom of the circle.
Mavericks need a basket. They need a basket badly.
Denver has the last 5 baskets, or 4 baskets and a couple of free throws. Doug Christie back to Jason Terry. Short on the 3, deep in the left corner. Camby rifles it up the sideline to Andre Miller. Bluffed on the foul line jumper. Got Anthony an open look at a 3, and it is Francisco Elson outworking Dampier for the rebound.
Hustle play again.
Miller against Terry. Cross-court pass. There's Doug Christie with the intercept. Good job playing the passing lane for Christie.
Good alert defensive play by Christie. He backed off far enough to encourage it and then got in.
Dirk in the lane. Dampier got a hand on it, but it's Elson who comes away with it. Here comes Denver. Andre Miller from Camby, and he will get the and one. An opportunity at a 3-point play, and the Nuggets have galloped out of the starting gate here to open up the third quarter.
Have all the momentum to Denver, picking up right where they left off at the end of that first half when they make that perimeter shot. You had 3 defensive people back. You've got the guy in front of you commits to the ball. That back man has to go to the near receiver and take that away, either by trying to get a deflection, a steal, or drawing the charge.
Some subs made by Dallas. Avery Johnson trying to spark some energy for this club. Chop and Daniels have gone in. Dampier and Christie are out of the game. Last 13 points of the game scored by Denver. They lead by 12. Howard cross court to Terry.
There's a good one.
Mavericks shooting 33% of the game. Denver will get to the line. Nowitzki's called for a foul on DeMar Johnson. He'll shoot free throws. Johnson has 4 points tonight in 16 minutes.
I think Dirk is starting to become a very frustrated player. We've seen enough of him that we can read his body language and his facial expressions and tell you that frustration is setting in. That may be a good thing. It's better for it to set in now with all the time that's left than it would be late in the fourth period.
First free throw made by DeMar Johnson as we look at the Southwest Airlines Southwest Division standings. Mavericks have a chance to move into first place. However, San Antonio is also playing tonight at home against Atlanta. Memphis has gotten on track. The Hornets and Rockets bringing up the rear. 2 of 2 at the line for DeMar Johnson. Dirk got stripped by Andre Miller. And Miller will scoop it to the hoop and score. And Avery Johnson's going to have to take another timeout.
This one will be a 20.
I don't know what to say here, Bob. We've seen Denver score 17 straight points, 15 of them to open up the third quarter.
Well, it's all happening because they're just being more aggressive, more ball conscious. They're coming away with a ball off the board and really pushing it. Miller just came around behind the back and stole the basketball, and it was clean.
Well,
clean all the way.
The Mavericks right now are in jeopardy of being buried by a Denver Avalanche. Let's look at this here early on in the second half.
Denver out of the locker room, ready to go. They got it back on a hustle play there. Once again in transition, Denver with good looks. There's a smart defensive play by Miller, and he takes it all the way and converts. This might be a spot, Mark Cuban not happy about that one. This might be a spot where you go to Darrell Armstrong in a situation like this.
Well, no Maverick fan in their right mind would be happy about what has transpired in the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter. They call Dirk's number. He gets up over Andre Miller, and the Mavericks finally break the drought.
That's a good place to go when you're in trouble. Get it to Nowitzki and see what he can do.
18 points, Denver coming back quickly. Camby has Jop run out on him. He faked the shot. Now he'll drive around him and lay it in. And for Marcus Camby, that gives him 9 points to go with 8 rebounds.
Good quick move by Camby. To his left and a nice finish around the basket.
Jason Terry penetrates. Blocked. Jop picks it up and scores. Ghana Jop. 4 points, 11 rebounds, 17 minutes. So let's see if the 22nd timeout taken by Avery Johnson does something to lift the spirits and performance of Dallas. A closeout on Camby by Dirk and then by Howard, and Camby's jumper is a little bit long. Ghana Jop with a defensive rebound, and Dallas pushes with 4-on-3, the advantage, and then Daniels loses it. DeMar Johnson to Mello. Dump it off for Camby, and a two-handed flush.
See, it's 2 you don't get because you lose the ball when you're shooting a layup, and 2 they get. Armstrong will come into the game.
60-44 Denver. Right side is Daniels. Still tipped, but caught by Howard. He will go in the lane, and it will spin out of the basket. There is a foul called on Denver on Marcus Camby. Third foul on Camby. Denver's second team foul of the third quarter. Darrell Armstrong in for Jason Terry. And here's Josh Howard shooting free throws. Check out the sound here. The whistle after the ball had come off the rim.
Well, the P in the whistle got stuck, so it didn't. You didn't hear it right away.
Okay, I understand. That was Bob Delaney on the call. And Bob Delaney, one of the toughest customers around. No question about that. Great official, great veteran official. Good crew tonight. Ron Elysiak and Scott Wall with him.
Let's see if Armstrong has an impact on this game right now, just in terms of all the things that he does at both ends of the floor. It'd be interesting to take a look at the score.
Well, before the game, Avery Johnson said Armstrong is the epitome of what he wants defensively. Let's see if he can spark Dallas. With the Mavericks down by 15 and turnovers forced, it wasn't DA's defense, it was Dirk's with a hand right in his face, and Camby travels. Let's check out tonight's progressive above the rim.
Devin Harris. And not only will he be tonight's progressive above the rim, but he does it with a degree of aggressiveness. That's just a heck of a play. You talk about getting up over the top. Good example there.
He's in the game along with Daniels, Jop, Armstrong, and Dirk. Foul is called on Andre Miller, putting the body on Dirk down low with 6:09 left in the third quarter. Denver's third team foul. Andre Miller's second in the game. Miller, one of 3 Denver players in double digits. He has 11, as does Camby. Carmelo Anthony, 18 points. Harris operating, killed his dribble. And a poor pass to Dirk, intercepted by Andre Miller. Lobbing it out. Look out, DeMar Johnson with the alley-oop throwdown.
Great job by Miller defensively, and then he makes the alley-oop pass. He does so many things in kind of a non-flashy way. He's just a solid, fundamental player, Miller, and he plays both ends of the floor. Doesn't make many mistakes.
Check it out.
Look at there. There's the alley-oop pass. Just nicely done.
Dirk, crowded by Francisco Elson, drives on him, and a block shot by DeMar Johnson. Carmelo Anthony's going to get away with the defense, and all alone, he will spike it home. And Avery Johnson at a loss, trying to push every button possible, calling another timeout. This is a full for Dallas. It's the third timeout taken by the Mavericks here in the third quarter.
Avery Johnson right now in a stare down with the official. He felt that Dirk got fouled inside. He may be correct on that one.
Biggest advantage for Denver, up by 19. Of 19 points. This week, our college football quadruple header begins with a college football Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera. Then, what most are calling a battle for a Cotton Bowl bid, Oklahoma taking on 19th ranked Texas Tech. Washington State battles Washington for the Apple Cup. The Civil War, Oregon State against number 10 Oregon. Then Fresno State takes on number 1 USC, all starting at 10:30 a.m. Central, only on FSN Southwest. Devin Harris to the baseline, and Dallas scores out of the timeout, closing the deficit to 17 points.
Armstrong's going to get right up in the jersey of Miller and make him work. If the Mavericks can just whittle away one possession at a time, folks, you don't catch up in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. Try to get it to a 10-point deficit, preferably single digits, and you go from there. And there's another opportunity. Another opportunity to dig into it just a little bit.
Daniels got the rebound, brought it down the floor off the Johnson missed 3, and Daniels will float it home with the right hand. And Dallas with 2 straight baskets out of the timeout. Miller checked by Darrell Armstrong.
In my estimation right now, Armstrong's got to be the straw that stirs the drink.
Long 2, foul line extended. Anthony missed. Going after it, the Mavericks get it. Gonna drop. 13th rebound. That's a career high. His previous best was 11. And a reach-in foul on Denver.
Job's played as well as anybody for Dallas. I mean, he really has.
Andre Miller's third foul.
When they're attacking you like Denver is attacking the Mavericks, you cannot be passive. You must attack back.
We certainly thank our viewers tonight, not only on FSN Southwest, but around the country on NBA TV. Some folks may be getting their first chance to see Gonachop. Lost nearly 30 pounds in the offseason. He's much more active. And he's been a nice piece in the backup center rotation for the Mavericks. Marquise Daniels will go to the foul line here and shoot 2 with 4:06 left in the third quarter. And look at the total so far tonight for Gonachop. And he still has well over a quarter to play. And you know, with Dampier in foul trouble, he's going to get plenty of minutes.
Don't pay a lot of attention to that 4, those points. His primary responsibility is to defend, to rebound, and to block shots. Anything he gets beyond that, and he will increase his ability to score baskets. I really believe that. I think Jop had something to do with that ball coming in.
Sure, no question. However, it's an offensive foul on Dallas on Marquise Daniels, and it's his 4th foul in the game. But Dallas got it back off Daniels, missing that second free throw after hitting the first. 7 points for Daniels to go with his 4 fouls. Let's check it out.
I think you're going to see a little bit. Oh, you see it right there.
Led with the elbow, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Mavericks are trapping.
Yeah, they changed their defensive concept a little bit. Let's see if that. Whoa!
Look at that.
Jump
again. With a block party tonight for Dallas. His 4th rejection. Andre Miller line drives it home from the elbow.
Mid-range games off picks. Andre Miller is deadly.
Harris. Guarded by Elson on the switch. Crosses him over. The draw and kick to Daniels. From the foul line, Marquise Daniels sticks it again.
Well, ever since the last time out, the Mavericks have been better. They've got a ways to go.
There's a sense of urgency now. Nowitzki with a defensive rebound. There was Job challenging a shot.
You push it. You push it again. If there's nothing down there, you can pull it out and go, but you push it. You attack.
Tipped out by Carmelo Anthony. 64-45 was Denver's lead at that timeout taken by Avery with 5:28 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
When Armstrong came in the game, is that correct?
Armstrong actually got in the game before that. He had come in before that. You saw Miller went to the bench. Greg Buckner's come in the game. Elson went to the bench as well, and we see Eduardo Najera back in. Armstrong, Harris, Daniels, Dirk, and Jop. And Nowitzki loses it on the way up, trying to draw a foul on Najera. Didn't get the call, but it is picked back off by Devin Harris. And Harris will turn on the Jets. He'll blow past Earl Boykins, but there's a help defender, Marcus Camby, rejecting it out of bounds.
It can be something else. I mean, he is really something else. However, the Mavericks have a player in Jop who plays a little like that. Pretty good battle there. A couple of guys, as I mentioned earlier, good friends. Dirk wants to get it going.
Nowitzki makes it a 12-point game. He's got 20 tonight.
Look how quickly it can happen. The Mavericks have a shot at getting it into single digits by the time the 4th period starts. Good defense. Good defense by Daniels.
Boy, Armstrong hit Boykins in the face. Boykins turned back and glanced at Bob Delaney. Won't get a call. Anthony against Darrell Armstrong. Shoots over it and hits.
You're not going to hold them scoreless.
But Dallas may get another basket here as Dirk will run the floor and get the 2-handed jam.
There's the attack. Don't tell me you can't attack the basket and run a fast break when your opponent scores.
We saw it in action.
Denver scores on a jump shot. You get it out and get it down the floor, you can run, but you can't do it if people are walking down the floor.
Camby. A rainbow from the head of the key is missed. It's tipped outside. Denver has it back. Boykins, Buckner, Anthony, Najera, and Camby on the floor for Denver. Boykins in the lane. Pass is punched out of bounds by Dallas with 1:48 left in the 3rd quarter.
Good effort by Dallas right now, but not a very good effort in the early part or the first half of the 3rd quarter.
Mavs have scored on 6 of their last 8 possessions, as a matter of fact.
They're trying to make up for it now.
Can they dig out of the hole? Boykins to Camby. Way off the mark, out of bounds. Crowd will let him hear about it. Camby airballs it.
Armstrong's made a difference. He has made a difference.
A stretch of nearly 5 minutes where the Maverick offense has been much better, and they will get Dirk to the line here, and this is going to be a flagrant foul. Nowitzki got nailed. Receiving the pass on the back cut. He's still down. A flagrant foul is called on Denver on Marcus Camby, I believe. With 1:25 left in the 3rd quarter. So this is 2 shots and possession of the basketball retained by Dallas, Bob.
Flagrant 1 or flagrant 2, we don't know yet. We haven't received a ruling.
What are the guidelines for a 1 and a 2 again?
Well, if it's unnecessary contact, it's a 1. If it's excessive contact, it's a 2. The difference is ejection of the player if it's a 2, and it's not a 2 because he's still in the game. Camby is. Well, he came from behind. He didn't go for the ball at all. What's come from behind his... Well, maybe he did. A little bit of a different angle there. Let's look at one more, folks. Pretty good contact on Dirk's head. I think that's probably why the
forearm shiver to the side of the head.
Side of the neck.
And that's the excessive contact.
Well, you got Doug Moe and George Karl, a couple of guys who've been around this league for a long time, talking to the official.
2 free throws in possession for Dallas. Dirk can make this a 10-point game at the line, and we'll see what the Mavericks do after that. 23 tonight. By the way, Nowitzki is still the only Maverick who has scored in double digits.
Well, he gets the 2 free throws. It's 1 on the flagrant, I think, Mark. He got the 2 for the shot attempt. Now he gets the 1 and the ball.
Boy, Darrell Armstrong right there in the thick of it. Dirk clearing the cobwebs as he was down on the floor after the foul. So 1:25 to go in the third quarter. Dallas got both free throws hit by Nowitzki. Camby's gone out of the game, and Francisco Elson has returned.
10-point game.
That's probably a pretty good move by a veteran coach to get Camby out right now. Let him calm down a little bit. And a palming violation on Dallas. Turnover Mavericks. They've got 18 of them tonight. And that is a big problem.
Now, with the break in the action that we've just been through when Dirk Nowitzki went down, the Mavericks must sustain and keep up the pace. You can't let that break slow the tempo of the game. You're at home. You don't want that.
Boykins turns the corner off the screen by Elson. He can't find a crease to dribble penetrate. Goes underneath the basket, and Jop knocked it away. Devin Harris with the ball.
Defensive play by Jop.
Daniels laid up good. It's an 8-point game with 51 seconds left in the third quarter, and the charge is on.
Single digits by the end of the third period. After what, a 19-point lead for Denver?
64-45. Denver was up with 5:28 left in the third quarter. And the Mavericks roaring back to life. Boykins swings it to Buckner. Up faked, got held by Jop. Dallas had that foul to give. Their first in the last 2 minutes with 35.3 remaining in the third.
Good job, good call. Watch Jop down here. That's against Boykins. Look at, he reaches in, gets a piece of the ball. That's just tremendous. And at the other end of the floor, as a result of the defensive play, as usually happens, when you get it back because of a defensive play, you get in transition.
Daniels has 11 now. Denver turns it over. Offensive foul. Carmelo Anthony. Is it any surprise that that guy took the charge?
No, it's no surprise to me that the Mavericks have come back with him on the floor, because he energizes his team. He energizes the crowd.
Darrell Armstrong. Check him out.
That's a good job up at the right-hand top of the screen there. You see Armstrong. He was above the restricted area. Boy, Jop should get a bigger round of applause than he is getting for what he's done.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah, it is growing. I think they just realized, the crowd did, that he's come out of the game.
Jason Terry goes back in as Dallas looks for some offense here at the end of the third quarter. Differential 7 seconds. Game clock, shot clock. Dirk and Daniels each have 8 points this quarter. Dirk goes to Jason Terry. 3 ball is off the rim, no good. And it's Carmelo Anthony rebounding. Well, Dallas has made it an 8-point game. They need one more stop here to close out the quarter. Anthony over Daniels. Nope. Tips home nearly. Dirk comes away with it. And that is late and way off the mark anyway.
I'll tell you what, Nahara almost tipped it in.
Yes, he did.
You talk about an effort. Eduardo Nahara, and we're not surprised about that. He almost tipped that missed shot in.
Dallas in quicksand whenever the third quarter started. They fell behind by 19, but they've roared back to pull to within 8 as we go to the fourth quarter on FSN Southwest and NBA. Begins at American Airlines Center in Dallas. With Bob Ortigal, I'm Mark Followill. We thank you for joining us tonight on FSN Southwest and our audience across the country on NBA TV. Dallas and Denver meeting for the first time this season. It's the start of a 4-game homestand for the Mavericks, who will see Atlanta, Detroit, and Houston. Also on this homestand, Dallas ended 4-2 on the year, coming off a win over New Orleans, Oklahoma City on Saturday night. Denver is 3-4. Their last game was Sunday night home win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have not won on the road this year at 0-3 away from the Pepsi Center. But certainly they've played a good road game so far, Bob, until the last 5 minutes of the third quarter.
You know what happens now? I think now it becomes a question of energy. I mean, who's got enough left? Who's in better condition? Which team is going to be stronger down the stretch in terms of endurance, conditioning, energy, all those kinds of things? And we'll find out.
Armstrong, Harris, Daniels, Jopp, and Dirk on the floor to start the fourth quarter. That quintet really triggered the Maverick charge. And here is a pass to Jopp from Dirk, and it's knocked away by Francisco Elson.
Now they defended Dirk pretty well that time. Give Denver credit.
Boykins, Nahara, Elson, Carmelo Anthony, and Greg Buckner. Denver's 5 to open the fourth. Buckner along 2. He hits, and Denver opens up a little more breathing room to begin the fourth quarter.
There's a guy that really improved his jump shot since he came into the league. He played a lot down low. He's a pretty good post-up player, Buckner is. He worked hard on improving that jump shot. Good defense by Nahara.
Nowitzki the pass to Daniels, who will work against Elson. He finds Devin Harris, rimming it out from just below the elbow on the right side.
Mavericks need to regain that momentum, get the crowd back into the game where they were.
Boykins in the lane off a Nahara pick. Nahara wants 2. In and out. Dallas trying to advance it, and an overthrow by Darrell Armstrong. Out of bounds, and the Mavericks have coughed it up twice and missed a shot here in the first 1:16 of the fourth quarter. Robert.
Darrell Armstrong coming out of the game, but he really helped. You can't do that, Mark. You can't just give it back to him without getting a good look. I don't know what's wrong with Elson, but he's either looks like maybe it's a cramp.
Right thigh, perhaps. Right quad.
Maybe more.
Right hammy.
Yeah, more minutes tonight. Maybe he's just got a cramp. Looks like he's going to try to play through it. He has to play through it.
That's the 20th Dallas turnover. By the way, Francisco Elson averages just 13 minutes a game. As Boykins missed the shot, Elson chased after the rebound. There is a foul, and it's on Elson, who has played 23 minutes tonight. The loose ball foul on Elson is his 3rd in the game. Marcus Camby will return, and Elson will limp to the bench.
I think it is a cramp.
Head athletic trainer Jim Gillen of the Nuggets will check him out. Terry around a dark screen. Devin Harris penetrates. Marquise Daniels does it again. Boy, he has found his offensive game in the second half. 6 of 8 for the game, 13 points.
Devin Harris created the opportunity, though, with the move, drawing the defense.
Devin Harris has 6 helpers to go with 6 points. That's a season high in assist. Nahara, the show and go. Intercepted by Devin Harris, and Earl Boykins with the bump at center court for Denver's 2nd foul of the quarter.
It's not a breakaway. It did start in the back court, but Boykins was there with him. That defender has to be behind him. Devin Harris, a good job defensively. He's alert. As soon as he saw the ball in the air, he released a little bit. Harris did. Came away with a steal.
You know who Devin Harris looked like? Like Roy Williams reading Donovan McNabb. Harris swings it to Jason Terry. A 3-ball is short. Jopp, though, with the offensive rebounds.
How many rebounds for Jopp?
14. 15 now.
How about that?
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Good cut.
Oh, but off the hands of Harris, and Greg Buckner comes away with the ball.
You got Miller back in the game, and that spells trouble just because of the way in which he orchestrates things.
Camby nearly lost it. Boykins back to Camby. Over Jopp. Barely caught the iron. Dirk the rebound. Dallas shooting 39% tonight. Denver 41%. An 8-point game with 9 minutes to go. They're switching to pick and rolls. Nahara matched on to Harris. Now they leave Dirk, and he will easily knock that down wide open.
That's not the guy you want to run away from.
No, I don't think so. He only has 26 tonight.
Tell you what, this has been parts of this game that have not been very pretty, and I admit that, but it has been competitive. And because of the comeback by Dallas, it's now very entertaining.
Long 3, Earl Boykins.
He can do that.
A chase for the ball. Terry saved it into Dirk. He beat Nahara to the loose ball. And a chance for Dallas to make it a 4-point game, which Marquise Daniels does. Off the rim. It's good. And Dallas has forced George Karl and the Nuggets into a timeout.
And you got Darrell Armstrong. He's hip bumping, chest bumping, head bumping, everybody. That's what he does.
The crowd is energized as well. Dallas was down by 19 with 5:28 left in the third quarter. They have closed the gap just down by 4. Marquise Daniels, great second half. He's got 15 and draws Dallas to within 4.
Friday, Chris Tucker.
Why?
I watch a lot of comedies, and I think it was a very funny move at that particular time when it came out.
Andre Miller at the end of the shot clock leaves it for Buckner, who lays it in for Denver. They're up now by 6. You can grab life by the horns with Dodge.
What kind of a pass was that? Huh? That was a heck of a pass by Miller.
Dirk against Francisco Elson. Stops, fades, got it. Mavericks back to within 4. Dirk Nowitzki a big part of it. 28 points. Gonna Job a big part of it with Dan Pierre having a very tough night. 4 fouls, couple of turnovers, just 11 minutes. Gonna Job 4 points, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks.
See how he keeps his dribble alive and backs up? That's what I was talking about early in the first half.
That's out of bounds, and it's off Denver. Dallas ball. You saw the note on their run. Dallas a 23-8 push. They have the ball with 7:19 remaining, and it was Devin Harris who sold out, leaping into the bench here, Bob.
That's what it takes. He got a piece of the ball and deflected it off of the defender. Miller, heck of a play. Keith Van Horn over there taking a charge.
Jerry Stackhouse as well. Now Nowitzki takes it from Daniels, a step inside the arc. Yes, sir. Dirk scores. It's a 2-point game with 7 minutes to go.
How about that guy?
He's just got 30. Big screen there by Elson. He and Harris get locked up. Miller with the ball. Back to Boykins.
Can't let him shoot that shot.
Long rebound. Who will get it? Jason Terry knocked it off. Francisco Elson. It's Dallas ball and a chance to tie the game with 6:46 to go.
That's another hustle play. Terry makes the effort to get the ball. Denver deflects it out of bounds. You don't make the effort, you don't make plays like this. Look at this. He gets a piece of it. Now Harris did
the header off the header, Francisco Elson.
That's because you went to that soccer game on Sunday, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah, MLS Cup. And Francisco Elson might have played a little soccer in his day, a native of Holland. Harris, Terry, Dirk, Jop, and Daniels.
Long way back from 19 down, but it's not far enough yet.
Harris screens for Dirk. He'll stop at the foul line, put it up, and it's no good. This place was ready to erupt. Anthony makes his way into the lane. Jop forced to miss, and it's Jason Terry with the ball.
Jop kept it loose, though.
Daniels on the break, costs it up, has it back. Dirk for 3 in the lead. Bullseye! Dallas has climbed the mountain in less than a quarter. They have wiped out a 19-point deficit.
Dirk walks back down the sideline, puts up one finger, and about 100 people on the other side of the floor put up one finger. They acknowledged it.
What a comeback by the Mavericks. Miller off the screen to put Denver back in front, and he splashes it home.
He will not panic.
No.
Miller will not panic. He will not go away.
A cool customer. He's got 15 tonight, Andre Miller. 5:40 to go.
Dirk is exhausted.
They need a timeout. Harris will dribble, penetrate. Dallas regains the lead. Harris zigzagging his way right to the Denver defense.
He beat the shot blocker that time, Marcus Camby. He fooled Camby.
Tonight, Devin Harris has tied his career high with 7 assists. He also has 8 points. Miller again for the elbow. Nope. Loose ball, and Harris snatches it.
How about all this time that's being played with 2 point guards? Devin Harris and Jason Terry.
Knocked out by Denver. Nowitzki will get the chance to rest. He needs it. Devin Harris has given Dallas the lead that they hold. But this was the basket that everybody loved. The 3 by Dirk to give Dallas a 1-point lead with 5:11 to go in the 4th quarter. He got 3. Dallas is up by 3 as he rattled home the jumper from about 19 feet.
That's an outstanding call from Avery Johnson. You've got a player in Dirk Nowitzki who's a little bit tired. They work away from him. You get a staggered pick and a wide-open jump shot for Terry. That's an excellent call.
Nahara with a pass. Daniels held Carmelo Anthony. That's 5 fouls on Marquise Daniels. 4:48 remaining. Daniels has been instrumental in the comeback. 15 points. And for Marquise, those 15 points, I believe that 11 of them have come here in the second half.
That's a tough call for Avery Johnson right now. You want him to be aggressive. but you don't want him to fall out of the game, and yet you don't want to take him out because he's been such a big. Oh,
look at Jop.
Good hand. That's Jop again.
Nowitzki around Nahara, lays it in. The Maverick lead is 5.
I'll tell you what. Sagana Jop, better known as Ghana Jop.
4 points, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks, a couple of steals. 34-10 is the Maverick push. Nahara steps in to about 17 feet and bounces it home off the iron.
Big basket for Denver.
Yes, indeed. Nahara with 6 points and 8 boards.
Let's see where the Mavericks go. Point guard Daniels on this possession.
Tries to break down the defense. Kick out to Terry.
Now you got to go. You got 6 seconds on the shot clock. Now you got to go.
4 minutes remaining. Terry outside Dirk. Deep 3. No. A season high 35 tonight for Nowitzki. Loose ball foul is called. That's on Ghana Jop, and that's his 3rd foul of the game.
Watch this. This is Jop. He reaches in, gets a piece of the ball. Good alert defensive play. Nowitzki comes away with it and finishes at the other end. Nahara a little bit late, getting back to defend.
Well, the Mavericks have spent obviously a lot of energy to get back to this point. Do they have the energy to close now?
Good defense there. Good hands. Daniels, Terry, and Nowitzki all involved in that defensive play.
Denver's got to hustle now with just 7 to shoot. Miller against Jason Terry.
He's so good at that.
Hesitation dribble got him around Terry and in the lane for the lefty layup.
Keeps the dribble alive. He does not kill his dribble. He dances a little bit. He backs up. He attacks. He'll back up again. Then he'll re-attack. It's like reposting the ball for him.
Dirk against Nahara. Last 4 scored by Denver after Dallas got in front by 5. Nowitzki against DeMar Johnson. Flings it to Harris. Shot clock's getting late on Dallas again. Daniels got it.
Pretty good ball movement, Mark. Pretty good job moving the ball.
17 for Marquise Daniels.
I think Avery Johnson's done a wonderful job of staying with a lineup that really brought them back.
Carmelo Anthony on the drive. There's a whistle. A blocking foul called on Dallas. By the way, Daniels has a season high tonight. His previous best was 13. He's got 17 tonight on 8 of 10 shooting. A blocking foul is called on Ghana Jop. 4th foul of the game on Jop. Daniels has played a big part in the comeback. This isn't part of the comeback, though. This is to give Dallas a little bit more cushion. He put him up by 3 with 2:46 to go in Dallas. Coming out of a timeout. Tonight's Wachovia Uncommon theme focuses on the next Maverick opponent. Josh Smith, winner of the dunk contest as a rookie last year with the Hawks. 2 great games last year against Dallas, including the 10 blocks. Look at that, Bob. 10 blocks for a swingman in a game last year. What an athlete.
I remember it really well. I mean, it was just amazing. He was all over the place. And they weren't just, little blocks. I mean, he was coming out of nowhere to get probably half of those blocks. I'll tell you, the dangerous guy right now is Miller for Denver. Number 24. I promise you he will have the ball in his hands a lot.
Carmelo Anthony dangerous as well. A couple of free throws made. 6 of 7 tonight at the line. 24 points. The first free throws attempted for either team this quarter. 1-point game.
They're going to Dirk.
Good place to go.
Yeah, there's a double team to get it out of Dirk's hands.
The extra pass. Devin Harris will slash the baseline, and he loses the ball. Andre Miller.
He'll go.
2-on-2. And Dallas filters back well in transition.
Very unusual that Miller would kill his dribble like that. That's where they're going to go. They're going to go to Miller.
And Dallas will force the ball from his hands. Melo for the top of the key. Nope. Tipped outside, and Denver has it back. DeMar Johnson. Down to the 2-minute mark. Dallas rallied from down 19, middle of the 3rd quarter. They got up by 5 in the middle of the 4th.
Both teams with a foul to give.
1:53 left. Under 10 to shoot. Johnson jab steps on Dirk. A 3. It's out of bounds, and it is Denver ball. That's the kind of shot, though, that Dallas would like to see Denver take here down the stretch.
Absolutely.
DeMar Johnson a 3 rather than Miller or Camby or Anthony.
Couldn't agree more.
Anthony off the glass. Dallas got 3 stops that trip down. Finally, they get the defensive board.
You can't get too cautious now. Be aggressive. Don't wait too late on the shot clock so that you have to take a bad shot.
This would be a very nice one if Dallas can milk it home. Long way to go, though. And a razor-thin margin. Terry backs up over Nahara. 20-footer. No. Once again, Denver with the opportunity to seize the lead. Miller tonight, 17 points. Works on Devin Harris.
That's where they're going to go, right there. Pretty good defense.
Nahara battling. Whose ball? Nahara and Bob Delaney get tangled up before Delaney could make the signal. This is going to be Denver ball. And a timeout is taken by the Nuggets with 58.8 remaining. Denver's done some good work on the offensive glass here in the last 2 minutes of the game. They keep it alive again off a miss. And so Dallas will have to play defense. Dallas defending with a 1-point lead. But that man's offense has been huge in the fourth quarter, Bob.
Well, it's just jump shot after jump shot after jump shot. Dirk's just been so good. A fadeaway jump shot right there, creating some space. A little shot fake. He moves over with an escape dribble and hits the jump shot. Good ball rotation there. That time just a catch and shoot jump shot. All of them a little bit different. And then in transition, he beats Nahara and gets a layup. He's been something else. 35 points in the ball game, 11 in the fourth quarter.
A throw in by Andre Miller. Denver down by 1 with the ball. They have a full timeout in the 20. Dallas has 1 full timeout remaining.
They're going to post Miller against Harris.
He'll make a move. He'll fall down and throw it out of traffic to Carmelo Anthony. Pass deflected. Camby still got it. Turnaround jumper, no. And it's Marquise Daniels with the defensive rebound tonight. The Mavs have outboarded Denver 45-40.
Mavericks only have 1 timeout. You probably do not want to use it here. You have to save that 1 timeout.
Dirk against Nahara. Nowitzki bursting into action.
Oh, he got fouled, didn't he?
And he misses the jumper short. Carmelo Anthony with the rebound. They can hold for the last shot.
I don't think he did. I think defensively it was there.
Denver taking their timeout. And Denver can, for all intents and purposes, shoot for the win here with just a negligible difference. Game clock, shot clock. Dallas up by 1. They'll need to make 1 more defensive stand that's been up to the challenge in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Avery Johnson did not get what he wanted on that possession. Let's see if we can see what George Karl is after. The first thing that he is concerned about, which is why he put the man out of bounds with the ball, is the inbounds pass. That's the first thing you get concerned about. Avery Johnson drawing up what he might do. I don't know that he would do this at this point, but you can really mess people up sometimes if you change up to get enough guts to do this and go to a zone. Both teams have 1 foul to give at this point. The Mavericks with only 1 timeout.
Okay, if you're Dallas, from a defensive standpoint, knowing you have a foul to give, how does it affect what you do on the floor defending this 1-point lead?
Well, it depends on where the ball is. You would like for as much time as possible to run off the clock before you commit the foul. Number 1, do not commit the foul on a shooter. That absolutely is not going to, because then you nullify the advantage of having the 1 to give, and they would get 2 shots or 3 shots depending upon whether you foul the 2-point shooter or a 3-point shooter. Number 2, if you can keep the ball in front of you and run a few seconds off the clock, then use the foul, but don't make it so that it's a flagrant foul.
The lineups: Daniels, Harris, Terry, Joplin, Dirk for Dallas, Nahara, Miller, Camby, DeMar Johnson, and the trigger man Carmelo Anthony for Denver.
The reason I was harping about not using the timeout on the last possession is because if they score, the Mavericks still have a timeout.
And they take it quickly. The foul to give. Harris on Andre Miller, first in the last 2 minutes. They only burned 2 seconds off the clock.
But see, and Avery Johnson shaking his head, because where the foul was committed that far out, he's not going to shoot it out there. Keep him in front of you, make him turn the corner. If he beats you, then commit the foul. Now you don't have anything. Now it's they're shooting the penalty.
Miller with it on the left wing against Devin Harris. Inside of 10 seconds to go. Dallas defending a 1-point lead. It's Melo driving around Daniels. Blocked by Jeff. He's been the hero tonight. His 6th block. Devin Harris with the ball, and he's fouled with under a second to go.
I'll tell you what. You know, you finally get to a point where you want a guy to earn his stripes, and you keep talking about him as he's improving, he's improving, he's improving. You're going to be a starting center in this league someday.
Put those stripes on the sleeve right now.
Amen. And he blocked it. I mean, he really blocked it.
That is rejection number 6 tonight, along with 16 points and 4 boards for Ghana Diop. 1 second remaining. That was the foul that Denver had to give. Their first in the last 2 minutes.
All right, and now Avery Johnson is going to use that final timeout that I talked about when they had that possession and did not score. That's why you have to save it. You have to save it so that if you get to this situation, you can use it, take the timeout, and set something up. Now, remember that the Mavericks can go into the backcourt with this inbounds pass in the last 2 minutes. But Ghana Diop.
Look at him, the hero.
Oh, absolutely.
As long as they bring home this last final second. 16 rebounds, 4 points. He had 5 blocks before this. Number 6.
Diop comes over, he goes up. I mean, he hammers it pretty good. That's a heck of a block, and Harris comes away with it. Look at Carmelo lead with the knee.
Boy, look at Dirk.
Technically, you could.
Ghana Diop before tonight, and I know you got a point you want to follow up with here, Bob, about Melo leading with the knee.
This is supposed to be a foul. You cannot lead like that. That should be immediately picked up by an official. That is a foul. You cannot lead with that knee like that.
Bob, before tonight, Ghana Diop's career high in rebounds was 11. He has 16. His career high in blocks in 4 seasons in the league was 5. Tonight, 6 rejections. The game changer, the 4 points thrown in. But as Bob mentioned earlier, it's all about boards and blocks for Ghana Diop.
And he's got to stay in that mentality. He must continue to think that way. And right now, all the Mavericks need to do is get a successful inbounds pass. It's all yours, Mark.
Marquise Daniels throws it in. George Karl will put a 7-footer. Francisco Elson on the inbounds pass. And the Mavs will queue up along the free throw line with Terry, Armstrong, Harris, and Dirk. Armstrong breaks free, thrown into him. He's fouled at the buzzer. The clock runs out here. Time will be placed back on it. Bob Delaney clearly blew the whistle before the buzzer. And what will happen here is I believe they'll check the clock. Or will Delaney just say put 3/10 on?
No, he's going to look. He's going to. This is a reviewable play right here because of the time. And you'll be able to see the clock. And he'll put back up there whatever needs to go up there. And if time needs to go up there, then Armstrong shoots the free throws. If time has expired, then the game's over. Mavericks win it.
5/10. That's what it says on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but the red light's not on yet.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying that's what could be put on the clock. 5/10.
Watch the red light. Here's what you want to watch right there. That's what you want to watch, folks.
There was the foul. 4 5/10.
Yep. So obviously the board means nothing because the foul is committed first. See when contact is made.
Well, Darrell Armstrong, Bob, is a career 88.3% free throw shooter, and they're going to put 0.5 of a second on. So there is certainly something that you see at the end of games. You see people do this from time to time, intentionally miss that second free throw. So Armstrong is going to shoot the free throws here. Now, he can go up by 3. He can put the Mavericks up by 3, but one thing he can do is intentionally miss that second. Denver still has a 20, but can you rebound and get a 20 call and leave enough time on the clock to get away a shot?
Yeah.
Because you got to have 0.3 of a second.
That's why you can. As long as there is 0.3 of a second on.
Well, they're talking about it here as Terry and Devin Harris get together with Avery Johnson. And Armstrong is at the line. 81-80. Dallas leads. First free throw. Armstrong got it. Camby back in.
That's what Armstrong wants to know. Hey, coach, you want me to miss it? I'm an 88% career shooter, and you're telling me to miss?
I'm not sure. Is that what he told him?
I don't know.
Denver's got their 22nd timeout. If this is missed, they can get a rebound and call a timeout. Let's see what Armstrong does. Well, he makes it. So now it's just a 3 that Denver needs. 22nd timeout. So now the strategy question I pose to you, Mr. Ordeal, coach.
Yep.
Do you foul if you're Dallas? on the inbounds pass?
We've been here before, haven't we? The answer is yes. Yeah, you do. When the receiver receives the ball, you foul. Don't make it a flagrant foul. Don't foul a three-point shooter as he gets 3 free throws. But on the catch, you commit the foul.
And that's why if you're Denver, you're going to run some sort of play you would think that would free somebody up off a screen where there's no way to get out to the shooter.
Correct. They might.
But if you're Dallas, you can switch on the screens.
They might try to go alley-oop to Camby down low, and if they do, and you're Dallas, you just get away. You don't make contact at all.
Now Jop's going to defend the inbounds pass.
That's because you want Miller to have to put the ball up in the air and make it. He's got to throw it higher to get it over Jop than he would over Harris.
Miller to throw in. Dallas 83, Denver 80. 1/2 second remaining in the game. Dallas trailed by 19 in the third quarter. And unless a miracle happens, they're about to close out the win. It comes into DeMar Johnson, and it's way off the mark. Ball game is over, and Dallas with a thrilling come-from-behind victory to start off their 4-game homestand. They're 5-2. Denver falls to 3-5, and there's the Gatorade player of the game, Dirk Nowitzki.
35 points, 13 out of 25 field goals with 7 rebounds. The Dallas Mavericks were down 19 and they win. They were down 17 in Phoenix and they won in a double overtime. They believe that they can win when they are behind.
They're 2-0 at home. They'll play the Atlanta Hawks on Thursday night. Nowitzki 35, Garnage up, 16 boards.